What up, Visionaries? How are you guys doing today? Happy Sunday. Now, I'm going to jump straight into this video without wasting any time. Now, if this is your first time here, I encourage you to please subscribe to the channel, join the Visionary family. Now, let's jump right into today's video. Two things which is urgent. You guys all know every time I visit Liberia, the main goal is to, obviously work on the project we have going on, but also to get a temperature check of the country to see what is hot, what is going on. I've made a lot of recommendations in the past. I've had a lot of you guys who have reached out to me and told me, look, Cephas, what you said was true. I started this kind of business, I started that business, and it's working out just like you said it. Of course, there are variant here and there and stuff like that, but for the most part, that's mainly my goal, to see what's happening in the country. Now, I don't have the capacity and funds to do all of these businesses, because somebody may ask, well, if these businesses are great, why aren't you doing it? Well, I'm not rich, right? And also, even if I do it, it'll just be me. So these kind of businesses, you can have 10, 20 people, 30 people doing it, and it'll still be profitable, depending on, which part of the area and if it's spread out. So let's jump into the two things right now, 2023. I'm saying 2023 because, we're pretty much at the end of the year, and most of you might be going towards the end of the year or next year. So 2023, two businesses right now that can really get you off the ground, that can get you just the most amount of money as far as the business sector right now are these things. Now, initially though, these are not businesses that you would just start with just a couple dollars. You may need a good amount of initial capital to start, maybe like 15, 20,000, which is not too much, 25, $30,000. But these are the two things that's going to get you rich within like the first 90 days. Let's jump right into it. All right, so let's jump right into the two businesses. One, as you can see here, is cold storage. Now, these cold storage are like the container unit. Most of you probably have seen it. If not, it looks something like this, where it's insulated inside and has some special materials and fabric in the container where they store food. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you guys know, but if you don't know, a cold storage is basically either a warehouse or one of these units that looks like these, like a container that ship goods, but it's transformed with a refrigerator in there and insulation and everything that they put perishable goods in. Mainly though, for Liberia, it'll be fish and meat and chicken and things like that. Now, contrary to what you might think, even myself, thinking that, well, Liberia, it's, obviously it's in Africa, there is it's a farmland, people grow and fish and farm their own food. That's far from the truth. Liberia especially depend heavily on external companies, right? Manufacturers and importation of produce, and especially perishable goods like fish and meat and chicken. When I was in Liberia, I learned quickly that even chicken feet, there isn't like a mass production of chicken in Liberia that a company is producing. So these things are imported in containers like this. Now, this one here though, I will recommend the solar, like this, like how you see in this video, the solar panel version of these containers. Basically, that way you don't have to rely on electricity or LEC or generators, because as a business owner, you want to minimize your overhead. Buying gas or paying every month for electricity that is really not even that reliable, or risking your goods going bad because electricity is not sufficient. The solar panel version will be good. Now, these things go anywhere from between $8,000 to $25,000. Some go even more than that, depending on the size and the portability of it. Some of them you can attach to a vehicle and drive around. That'll be a good one too for Liberia. But also, they have some that are stationary, where people come there and buy goods. So going back to what I was explaining before, all of these things are being imported into Liberia, like the chicken feet, the chicken breast, the whole chicken, fish, all of these. I was really surprised to see that these things are being imported. Now, these container, like you see in this video here, which I put the video credit in the description of this video, because this is not my production. I saw this video on the company's website, so I'll put the description below. So like I was saying, Liberia doesn't farm their own goods, and the goods that are like people take in the market is being imported from places like Indonesia, China, like the. And so I really did a lot of research in Liberia. So I asked a few owners, which I met just about two of them in the area, because in the Duboro area, Cinco area, on the Oro, I researched all of those areas, and there were like just 3 cold stories that I saw. Now these cold stories, the volume of like the demand is so high that when they open up in the morning, we have these market women literally line up so early in the morning to be among the first people to buy produce, because there is no other way. All the things that are, most of these things that are being sold in the market are frozen goods, fish, meat, chicken feed, all of that. And then the market women will buy and take it to the market, and that's how it's spread out in all the different markets in Monrovia, in the city, and things like that. Now this business will mostly be viable in Monrovia, because obviously that's most popular area. Other places people catch and grow their own food and things like that. So this would be, I would say, one of the only places that you can get this business off the ground running quickly. But most of these business owners are making between $15,000 to $30,000 a month. I spoke with a few, I interviewed a few. Those videos are coming up here. But people are literally just line up buying these food. Now again, it'll take a lot more research on your part if you're going to start this business, as far as researching manufacturer out of the country, buying a great cold storage container and things like that, and seeing where in Liberia that is lacking and where the demand is at. But this is something that within the next 2 years you can pretty much go closer to the $1 million range, well over $500,000, I'm pretty sure, because that's what those people are making there. So let's jump into the second video, the second business that can really get you off the ground right now, and that is Dokafle, which basically is used clothes from places like China and things like that, recycled clothing. So there are these warehouses all over like the not Western, but like China, Asian country, China, Japan, things like that, heavily populated country where clothes are being recycled and things like that. And in Liberia, like I mentioned, man, everybody survive on selling little things, selling small things, right, as Liberian people will say. And one of the biggest businesses selling used clothes and shoes and things like that, which as if you're Liberian, we call it Dokafle or Bandambuti. So so those businesses, just like the cold stories, the retailers will basically have these containers and open them up in the morning, and you have people flooding there to buy the bag. So like the bag you see the guy making here in this video, that's how they package them and sell them wholesale. I should say the wholesalers, not retailer, the wholesale. So just like these are packaged this way, and then you really don't know what's in it, but you buy it at a cheap price. You open it up and you just take it directly to the market square. You take it down Waterside, you take it Douala, you take it Oro, you take it like different places, part of Liberia. And people buy these, people buy these because they're cheap, they're ready to go. The wholesaler buy them for cheap, and most people survive on this. Now you may look at this and be like, well, I don't know if I'm going to make a lot of money and like get all these old clothes and used clothes. Now I'm talking about being the wholesaler of this in this business, not a retailer. I'm not too sure. I mean, retailers obviously they make money to live for their daily living, but I'm talking about making significant amount of money as a business venture, right? And that is just the wholesale, not wholesale of one of these, like the wholesale where you bring the whole container. So again, there are so many manufacturers in China, Japan that produce things like this. You just need to find one of them, communicate with them, get a good deal, and start shipping. So they ship directly to Liberia. You free the container from the port. I mean, like I said, get a few contact at the port, and so you have a smooth access. But yeah, so these you bring them to the market square, and the market seller, they know where you're stationed. They know what day of the week or how many times of the week you open up your container, and people will flood that place. People buy that right away. People will just buy that thing. They're like, I've been to so many of these places, the cold storage and these used clothes wholesalers, their locations, and they open up, and within like 2 hours, the whole container is gone. Like everything. See, just these bags, just like this. They put them out just like that. They bring them outside, and people are fighting over these to buy them, because again, that's how they survive. Most people just survive this way. But yeah, so these are the two businesses that are really like right now urgent to get into that space. Certain times, certain businesses, the space gets saturated. Right now, though, there are wholesalers in Liberia that are doing cold storage and used clothes sales, but they are very few, and the demand is so high. That's why, like I said, when I go there in the morning, within a couple hours, it's completely done. But there it is, guys. That's today's video. Get into it and subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful day.